Okay, so we are recording. So I'm gonna publish this recording after we're done. So this class, hey Annika. Well, she's connecting, great. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this recording after the first hour. So we're doing this in two segments. We're gonna meet from now till about close to 1 o'clock, then we'll take a 30-minute break. Then we'll come back at 1:30 and we'll play Jeopardy. 1:32, then of course we'll play for extra credit. So that's always fun. And the Jeopardy game will be on Chapter 7. What I want to do today, or this first hour, is pull up the test from last year and kind of go over some questions. Because the test you'll see next week is very similar to the test last year. So I want to show you the kind of questions I'll ask. Now, the format, of course, will be different. You know, it's not a paper test. It's done online in Schoology. I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit too, how that's going to look. Most likely, I'll try to, if I get a chance tomorrow morning, I'll try to make a mock test in Schoology, so you kind of are familiar with the format. And then, of course, you'll do the real test next week. But the test in Schoology will be a combination of multiple choice and fill in the blanks. Most likely, I'll probably put the graphing questions multiple choice because that'll be easier to do. Anything that involves equations like solving for x or simplifying, like getting a number, will be a fill in the blank. And I will ask you guys to show work. I'll make sure I make all the instructions clear in Schoology. But I am going to ask you guys to show work, meaning as you're doing the test, you know, you're going to want a piece of paper or something, notepad next to you, and kind of like showing your work. And then after you submit the test, once you're done, you can take a picture of your work and then upload to Schoology or email it to me. That way, if you do miss a problem, like a multiple choice problem, I don't want you guys to get dinged. Like if you miss like 5 multiple choice problems, that's really bad. But if I see your work and see me some careless mistakes, then I could help you and give you partial credit. So it's really to help you, not to make you do more work. But also, I do have to adhere to academic honesty in the sense that, you know, I want to make sure you're doing the work. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be, yes, you're going to submit the test. They'll give a grade right away. It'll be grade quickly. But I'm still going to look at your work anyway and then make adjustments to your grade as a result. So, so the test will be done online. But let's actually pull up the test from last year. So if I go to the folder last year, and let's go to, not AP Calculus, wrong class, Algebra 2, spring semester, tests, Chapter 7. So this is the test we gave last year. And let me kind of run through it first. And again, I am recording this, so if there's anything you don't quite catch, don't worry, you can rewatch it, and I'll post the Schoology as an update. And by the way, I did record the class for B period, so you can watch that as well, because we might do things a little differently today. Because I didn't get to the word problems with B period. I'm going to start with word problems with you guys. So so if I don't get the graphing today, for example, you can watch the B period video, and I'll put that link as well, and I'll tell you what, from what time to what time the graphing questions were done if we don't get the graphing today, because I want to start with word problems. But you do expect some graphing questions. So like here, you asked to graph the exponential with the k function. Oh, by the way, another thing I forgot to mention, if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask the question. You could blur it out, don't worry. I mean, of course, be respectful, but no problem at all. And I'll know who's talking because, oh, I have to share my screen. Sorry, that was stupid. Here we go. Okay, you guys can see my screen? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay, good. All right, so let me do this now. Okay, and I'll be able to know who's talking. It just kind of shows me off to the right here. Okay, so here's my screen, and I think it's being shared. Let me try this one more time. Share. Okay, so yeah. So we have graphic question. And the way the graphic questions will work, I'll probably give you an equation, and I'll say, hey, give me the domain range. It might be multiple choice. Or I say, oh, here's an equation. What is the asymptote? Give me the equation of that. Or I could say, here's a graph. Which equation matches the graph? Or here's an equation which graphs match the equation. So most likely that'll be done as multiple choice. And we'll definitely have an exponential function and log function I'll ask you guys to kind of work through. Definitely have questions like these here that we have to simplify. That's for sure. Don't worry about this kind of question. We didn't really talk about that concept enough. It's called the change of base formula. And by the way, I will post this this old test with the solution key to Schoology later today. And I think I have the answer sheet. No, I don't. That's okay. I mean, I actually do. There we go. Yep, I totally do. Good. That made me feel a lot better. I'm gonna redo it. All right. Yeah. Inverse functions, you'll see that. Expanding, condensing, you'll see all that. And then, of course, word problems and solving equations. I don't think I'll put extra credits. I think that's going to be hard to do because I'm randomizing the order of the questions, so people will see questions in a lot of different orders. And I don't want like an extra credit question to show up first for you, and then all of a sudden you spend so much time on it, and you don't get to the other questions. Now you can skip around, just so you know. So if you don't know the answer to a question, you could skip it, come back to it later. So don't feel like you're stuck on a question. I did enable that feature, so you can skip around. And then, of course, you submit it when you're done.
Is the test multiple choice?
Not all of it. It'll be 10 multiple choice and 10 fill in the blanks. But the multiple choice one should go pretty fast, and some of the fill in the blanks will be pretty quick too. And when I say like 20 questions, I'm not going to do like multiple parts. Like, you know, that's just crazy. So like, for example, number 11 here has 3 parts. I'm not going to do 11A, 11B. I'm just going to say this is one question. That's another question. That's another question. I mean, if you add it all up, like there's 3 equations you have to solve here. There's 3 word problems, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so it's just like this test here. Okay, so let's start with the word problems. So I'm going to annotate. Yeah, go ahead.
Will multiple choice, will we have to show our work?
Yes, you still have to show your work. Yes, I mean it's really to protect you, because if you pick the wrong answer because of carelessness, I still want to give you the credit, but it's also for me to really know that you know this too. But it wouldn't have to be terribly much work you have to show, or it could be a brief explanation. That works too.
Is the fill in the blank questions just like solving like an equation?
Yeah, like this. So we're gonna do number 8 right now,
Okay.
as you see on the screen. So yeah, that would be a fill in the blank.
Okay.
Do
So
we need to
go
know
ahead.
the equations up
Nope,
here?
I give them to you.
Perfect.
They'll be provided. I mean, you do need to know what they mean, but here's the thing: it's gonna be open note anyway. So as long as your notes are in good shape, and just rewatch the videos. I'll send all the video links anyway. I'll repost. I mean, you could click on the homework, so I'll just put them in as an update, because I actually had to do that for some of my colleagues who are I'm co-teaching with, because they didn't have videos. So I'll just give you all the links anyway, all in one like message in Schoology as an update, so you can rewatch videos, because that might help just make sure you understand what all these things are. But we're going to talk about it anyway right now. So so let's look at number 8. How many years will it take to double your investment if you invest in a high interest stock that gives you 24% annual interest compounded monthly? So you hear the word compounded, hear the word monthly. So hopefully you know that's going to involve, whoa, that was weird. Let me find my stylus. There it is. Okay. Oh, another thing too, I'm going to lock, hold on one second here. Yeah, I'm just going to lock this because, yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah. On Monday, I had some random people just show up and start playing rap music with very bad lyrics. So I don't want that to happen again. So okay, now let's go back to sharing. Okay, great. Now, so we're going to use this whoa, let's go back to annotate again. Yes, there we go. So we're going to use this formula here because you're doing compounding in a regular interval. And you're told that you want your investment to double. So first I'll just rewrite the equation and type in the things I do know. I do know the rate's 24%, so you got to write 0.24. And the number of times you compound, it's monthly, so I'm going to let n be 12, right? And 24%, so r is 0.24. And then 12. And then t, because you're trying to solve for time, right? How many years?
Why is there a 1 in the parenthesis?
That's just part of the formula.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, actually, we can get really theoretical here. The reason why there's a 1 is that you're taking your principal, which is your initial amount, and you're adding it on to whatever changed. So, for example, like this right here, say like, this is sometimes used for population growth, the one I just circled, and say the population is growing by 8%. So if you just do it to 1,000, it's 1,000 plus 0.08 times 1,000, the change that I'm experiencing. So this is your initial population, and that's your change. So the reason why the one's in the equation is that you want to make sure that you're always including the original and adding on to the new amount. That's just more theoretical than anything else. Not really necessary for you to like recite that. But you have the formula there, so it's all part of the formula. But good question. So here's the deal. I need to solve for t, but I still have two other variables are a and p. So how am I going to treat that? Like, what do I do about that? You want to double your investment. Anyone have any thoughts of how do I treat a and p?
Is P2?
So you're on the right track. Actually, a is going to be 2p.
Oh, okay.
So why is a 2p? Remember, you're doubling your investment. We don't know what the initial investment is, like your principal. We don't know how much you're starting with. Maybe you're starting $10,000, $100,000. I don't know. But it's doubling. So the bottom line is that a is going to be 2p. And so fortunately, the p's actually cancel from each side because they're both being multiplied to the things they're connected to. So you have the liberty to do that. If there's a plus here, don't dare do that. That would be weird, even if there's a plus on the other side as well between 2 and p. Like well, actually, no, you could do that. Never mind, I lied. You could do that. I was thinking of like fractions, but yeah, but they're being multiplied to what they're connected to, so it's totally fine. So now I got this. 2 equals, and I'll probably need to use a calculator. So let me actually go grab, actually I'll use my cell phone. So 0.24 divided by 12 plus 1, so I get 1.02. Now, this is the big step. Putting a star here, but for good reason. This is a big step. Anyone know what we do here to get, because our goal is to get t by itself. Anyone have an idea of how we get t by itself?
You multiply both sides by 1/12 power.
Not quite, because t is an exponent, so we don't want. I mean, actually,
use log.
you could. Actually, Armin, you could, but I'm not going to do that here because I think it's a little complicated. I'm going to do a log instead. Yeah, I'm going to write it as like this. Remember, log base bx equals y is the same thing as x equals b to the y. And you just open up. You don't have to memorize it. You're going to have it in front of you. But you got to make sure you use that because as a good example, we'll say I have log base 2 of 8, which I know is 3 because 8 is 2 cubed. So that's why I have the liberty to do that. The base, which is right here, now becomes the subscript. And 2 now becomes my input, making 12t isolated. Then you got to use your calculator. So remember, it's under alpha window. You should be able to locate it. So you get some wacky decimal, divide by 12, and you get your answer. And it should be like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 5, 4 or 5, I don't know. But first off, let's get the decimal equivalent. So hold on a sec. Let me get my calculator. Oh, goodness. All right. Alpha window, log base 1.02, 2. So you should get 35, I think. Actually, it's really nice. 35 equals 12t divided by 12. So it should be about 2.92 years. So that's our answer. So any questions about that one? We're good? Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to keep moving. Let me actually wipe this out. I think this is one of the coolest features of Zoom, that you can do this. Okay. Let's use the eraser. Okay. We're going to move on to 9. Okay, you have $2,000 that you want to save up. Sorry, you have $2,000 now, and you want to save it for a trip to space, which will be available in 3 years. Suppose the trip to space will cost $5,000. What interest rate will yield $5,000 in 3 years if you compound your money continuously? Okay, compound continuously. The formula that goes with that is this. Again, make sure your notes are totally in order. I mentioned that last week. And also make sure that you know what all these things represent. So P is your principal, which is $2,000. You start in 2,000. A is the amount you want to get to. You want to get to $5,000. R is your rate, which we don't know. And you want to do this in 3 years. So your job is to solve for R. So it's very similar to what we just did. You're solving for an exponent, but different variable this time, just R. So divide by the 2,000. So it should be 2.5 equals E3R. Then you can write this as a log. So this is the big step. Big step. Log base E of 2.5 equals 3R. And that's the same thing as ln. You can keep this base E if you want. I don't care. Just punch in your calculator. But just log base E is the same thing as ln. So remember, you're switching from exponential form. This step right here is the change from exponential form to log form. Very important. Once you do that, it's just calculator work at that point. Natural log of 2.5 divided by 3. So the rates will be 0.3054 or 30.54%. Now, just so you know, the way you're going to type it in Schoology, because it will mark as incorrect. That is why your work is going to save you. I will ask for 2 decimal places. You have to be very precise when you're trying to do an online assessment. It's a computer. It's not as intelligent as, well, some people might argue that computers are more intelligent than humans, but it can't discern like, oh, you're off by 0.01 or whatever. So you got to be precise here. So if I ask for 2 decimal places, that's exactly what I want. So and I want it as a percentage. I'll ask that as well. I'll probably ask you to ignore the percent symbol, so don't type that in. But you would type in as 30.54. Now, it's okay if you did it wrong and you missed it. That's okay. Just let me look at your work, and if all the work's fine, I'll probably just give you full credit. So just or maybe I'll take out half point if, like, you didn't express as a percentage but express as a decimal. But very, very important, you got to show your work so I could help you, because otherwise
How do you plug in ln to the calculate in the calculator?
It's on the far left side, right below log. It's next to number 4.
Oh, okay.
It's right there. Yep. And that kind of makes sense, like, yeah, it took about 3 years. It's kind of what we saw in number 8 as well. We saw something similar with 24%. So it kind of makes sense. So you want to make sure, like, if you got negative, that's weird. If you got a number bigger than 1, that's probably kind of weird. So you want to make sure your numbers make sense. Okay, let's keep moving here. And again, if you can also take pictures of this with your phone, but I am going to post this recording as well. Okay, 10. And then I think I want to do some evaluating of logs after that. So a long time ago, there was a high population of a certain species of frogs. Unfortunately, due to change in conditions in the forest in the current year of 2019. It's not current, obviously, but we'll just say 2019. There are 100 frogs left. The population of frogs have been decreasing at a rate of 20% each year from 1990 until 2019. 100 frogs initially in the year 1990. Okay, so form is going to be this: y equals a 1 minus r raised to the t. Now, why am I doing 1 minus r? Why not 1 plus r? Yeah, it's going down. Yeah, I see Clementine motioning. It's going down, which is good. Yeah, you're losing the population. So, I mean, if you did this plus r, not a big deal. Your r will be negative then. So it's not a big deal if you put plus r. So don't worry about that. But then you would expect r to be negative. So anyway, so you want the initial population. But y is what's left over after some time has passed. And your t is 19 because 19 years has passed. And your r is 0.2 because you're dropping by 20%. Actually, you know what? If you did put plus r, you would actually, that would be really bad. If you're solving for r, then it wouldn't have mattered, because then you're going to get a negative r value. But yeah, you do want to be careful. You want to use the 1 minus r. You could do 1 plus r, but you have to make r negative then. And of course, that's 19. And just work it out. That's all you gotta do. And so apparently there were 6,939 frogs. I did get 6,938.89, but you know, I said round to the nearest whole number.
Wait, why is T19?
Because we're going from 1990 to 2019. Oh, did I make a mistake?
Yeah, isn't that 29?
You are 100% correct. Thank you, Satchit, for catching that. That is wrong. You are correct. It is 29. That's why you have to show your work. That is very important. That will save you. Because this is a 6-point problem. I'd probably give 5.5 points then, right? So show your work and send it to me. Okay, so that's 0.00155. So that's 100 divided by that. Okay. By the way, I strongly recommend that you don't round too soon in the intermediate steps. So even though I did round this, I still, the way I did it in the calculator, actually I'll show you in Desmos the way I did in the calculator. Go back to my mouse. The Zoom should actually have a calculator. So, what's going on here? Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, if I go to Desmos, okay, sorry for all that messiness. Let me delete that. Okay, so the way you would want to do it, because 100 equals a times 0.8 to the 29 power. And actually, let me go back here one more time. So scientific. Okay. So 0.8 raised to 29, which was that, right? But the way I would have done this is I would have said 100th divided by that. All in one shot. And by the way, you'll have Desmos at your disposal too. Maybe it's better. But that way it's just more accurate. Because if I divide this by 0.0115, you're gonna be off a little bit. So I strongly recommend you try to keep this as precise as possible. Again, also your work, you'll be fine, but you know, just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go back to this stuff. So, any questions about the word problems we've done so far? Okay, so I will give you guys more practice. I have plenty of other stuff. I think what I'll do is I'll do a mock test, and I'll probably just do an extra sheet of problems that you can do, and I'll make sure you have all the answers. Okay, let's actually do solving equations. So I'm going to set up the first, we're going to get us started. So here you're going to want to divide by 2. Here, you're going to want to move that 4 over. So that's 6 to 3x equals 40. And you have 2x plus 3 equals 4 to negative 1. So go ahead and work those out. You'll have to use logs for A. B is going to be a simple linear equation. And again, you can use your calculator or Desmos to help you out here. Okay. Hopefully, you guys are getting this. 3x. Actually, sometimes we write like this. Log base 6 of 40 equals 3x. I'll give you that answer in a second. 2x plus 3 equals 1/4. 2x equals negative 2.75. X is negative 1.375, which is fine. Now for this one, again, if I go to Desmos, need log base 640. Oh, great, awesome. Hope I didn't mess things up. Desmos, scientific. Now, log is going to be right there, but it doesn't do the change of base. So you could just do log base 40 divided by log 60, or say log 6. It'll get us the answer. And then we want to divide that by 3. So we can multiply that by 1/3, and you get 0.686. So 2.05. And you can always check your work by throwing it back into the original equation, see what works out. In part B, we got that right there. So I think we're good.
Are we going to be allowed to use Desmos for the test?
Totally, yeah, that's fine.
But okay, why is it log like 40 over 6?
Yeah, I never went over that really with you guys in great detail. There's something called the change of base formula. Which is that? It's actually in the notes and in the video. I think it's a video from A74, if I'm not mistaken. That's just a thing you can do. So like log base 2 of 8, I know the answer is 3. But you could also do like this as well. You could try it for yourself. And you don't have to use common log, you can also use natural log too. That also works too. So yeah, that's the thing you could, but you have, if you have your TI-4 calculator, then just hit alpha window and it gives you the subscript. But if you're confronted with a device that doesn't have the subscript for log, then that's a workaround. So if that makes sense, we're good. Cool. Okay, we will keep moving. So make sure everyone's still doing okay. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's move on to part C. Let me wipe this out. Please. Okay, C. Log base 2 yeah, that. Remember, there's a plus. There's a rule that says log A plus log B equals log of AB. So I'm just using the product property. And also remember that this gets risen to that power. So if I distribute the x into x minus 2, actually I probably don't need that bracket anymore. which of course is 8. Which of course I keep moving. And you get 2 answers, 4 or -2. Now, which one would not be okay? So which one would be extraneous?
The negative one?
Yep, because you can't log negative numbers because it'll be negative when you throw it back in. So it's 4. And the way this would work in the Schoology test is that I'll give you the equation. And the equation will be actually, and the nice thing, Schoology actually has a very nice equation editor. So it'll look just like we see here. So it will be very easy to interpret. And you just give, just say it, just type in 4. Oh, by the way, another thing I forgot to mention. So I will be in the Zoom room. So I will be in this this Zoom meeting room, and I'll leave it open. So you don't need to sign in, by the way, because I think that's kind of a gray area. Like, are we monitoring? Are we being like Big Brother? I don't want to kind of go that route. And plus, I don't want maybe people communicating with each other. So I'm just trying to limit that. But if you have a question during the test, you just hop into the Zoom meeting. I'll keep it open. I'll be right there, just hanging out, and just ask your question. So that's totally fine. And you can probably even share your screen so I can even see where you might be getting stuck. So I totally can be there of assist. So don't think that you're on your own. I'm there. Just I'm in my house in a room, but I'll still be there to help you. So okay, let's, because we're gonna start a break in about 15 minutes. We're not gonna be able to go over all this stuff, but those are some important things. And if we don't, some stuff we don't get to, I have in a video for B period, so I'll share that link with you as well. Maybe we'll do the inverse because I think that's kind of important. So we could do, maybe I'll do all these part A's and I'll have you do the part B's. Okay. So let's switch this up to a different color. All right. So you switch X and Y. Then divide by 2. And then you do log base 5 equals Y plus 3. And then you have Y isolated. Okay, I just made that worse. No, there we go. Good. Okay. So again, isolate X and Y. Sorry, switch X and Y and begin isolating Y by dividing by 2. Then you got to do the log, and then you give the final answer. So actually, I think it would make this worth more than 4 points. More I think about it. But this would be probably worth like a point. This would probably be worth like another point. I would say this is probably worth 2 points. Uh-oh, what's going on here? For some reason, my stylus has ceased to work. I don't know why. Um, yeah, so just that's how I probably might divvy up the points. So I'm going to leave this up. I'm not going to erase it. I'm going to do number 6A. But you're going to do part B of number 5 in your own just a little bit. Okay. All right, so you got log. Oh, no, I know why. I need to charge my stylus. That's frustrating. Okay. Now I know it's not working because I left it out for so long. Okay, I'll do my best to do this with the mouse. It's gonna be a little choppy, just so you know. Okay, so expand. Maybe it's better this way because it forced me to go slow. So log base 4 of 16 plus log base 4 of x5. And then hopefully you recognize that the 5 should go to the front. This, by the way, is also 2. Yes, all this is the same as this. So that helps, and then hopefully you see that this just goes to the front. And the last bit, which I'll have to sneak in.
Mr. E,
Yeah, good.
why is the log 416 2?
Because 4 to the second power is 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Evaluate whenever possible.
Okay.
So that's mentioned. Yeah, and this will be done as a by the way, these questions here will be done as multiple choice. Everything on this page, because that's just gonna be easier for us to grade.
Got it.
But I do need to see your work still, or at least a punch in the answer, because I'm not gonna ask you guys to do the equation editor in school. I think that's just too hard.
Wait, Mr. E,
Yeah, go ahead.
why does the 5 go to the front?
That's part of one of our properties. It's the power property. Remember, when you have log, oh, this looks so ugly. All right, x to the n. It's the same thing. As n times log x. So now, finally 7. We'll do it over here for space. So you want to move the 2 to the back, so it becomes log x squared. So then I'm doing the opposite of the power property. I'm bringing the number out in front back as an exponent. So you got that. Then you combine them. That's the whole point. You want to get down to a single log. So do not add more log or introduce more logs. That doesn't make any sense. And there you go. Bo, you guys are asking fantastic questions today. So we got a few minutes. So why don't you guys try the part B's for each of these, and I'll show you the answer key after that, and then we'll take a break. But why don't you guys work through these right now? So you'll do part B of number 5, part B of number 6, part B of number 7, and you have the models right there, right in front of you to look at. And if you have questions, just chime in. I'm just standing by. And feel free to text each other, talk to each other. Well, maybe not in the chat room because that might be a little distracting. Okay. Let's see how it's going here. So I'm going to pull up the answer key. Let me wipe this out. Okay, so that's the answer for part B for 5 and part B for 6. You can see how I assigned the point values as well. Any questions about those two? We're okay? Okay. And then part B, remember just you have a divide, so you just put a minus in between, and the square root of exponents move to the front like a 1/2. And here again, switch x and y. Your job is to isolate y, so you kind of work that out.
Why is there a -1 in that one?
Oh, because log base 3 of 3 is 1. Just the same thing as log base 4 of 16 was 2.
Yeah.
So just evaluating it, yeah. And then finally, B is right here. So it's log base 2, 24 over 6. 12 over 6 is 4, and log base 2 of 4 is 2 because we can evaluate it. So, and this right here, all this evaluating stuff is kind of stuff that you're going to see in the non-calc part of this old test. By the way, there's no such thing as non-calc or calc on our test next week because I can't really monitor that. So it's fine if you use calculators. I'm not going to care, but make sure you're showing your work. But when I post the answer key, you'll see how I grade each part. So you'll kind of have an idea of what I'm looking for. And you should have this out too, by the way. You could totally have this open to you. So the test is going to be very similar to this. Yes?
Can you explain 6b?
Yeah, so you have a division, right, between root y and 3. So you got to put a minus between the two logs because your whole goal is to expand the logs. So it's one of our properties. Let me see if my mouse is, or sorry, if my stylus is working. Cool. We'll still need to charge. Yeah, so remember, there's a property that says this. See that. So and then you have the square root, which I know is y to the 1/2 power, but the 1/2 goes to the front. That's why you have the 1/2 out in front. That's the reason why. Okay, I think we're good for now. Okay, so I didn't quite go over. So yeah, we didn't go over any of the graphing stuff, but that's going to be in the beginning of the other video I did with B period, so you'll have a chance to watch that. But I didn't want to overwhelm with you guys too much stuff, and I think we need a break right now. So let's pick up again around 1:30. I'm going to, you guys can stay on. Maybe you turn off your microphones, turn off your videos. But I'm going to stay in this. I'm not going to end the meeting because I don't want to, but I'm going to stop the recording actually because we don't need to record. So I don't need to share.